everyone, my name is Emily and I'm the young adult librarian at the Rock Island Public Library, and the book I'm going to tell you about today is called Fake ID. And in this book you meet a kid whose name is Nick, except that's not really his name. The issue Nick has at the start of the book is that he and his parents are in the witness protection program, and they have been for a few years. And the reason this happened is Nick's dad is an accountant, and he used to be an accountant for this rich guy, and everything was going fine, except Nick's dad, eventually, he came to know that his boss was involved in organized crime, and he knew he couldn't go to the police because it's like, well, this guy's probably paying off the police. Like, I need to talk to the FBI, because, this guy's having people killed. And, at one point, there's a flashback where Nick, hides in his dad's car and, rides along and, finds out. Also, his dad's boss is yeah, he'll murder people. So, Nick's dad decides, okay, I'm gonna go to the FBI, tell them what I know. Except, his boss flees the country before the FBI can catch him. So, Nick and his parents, they all end up in witness protection. And for Nick, this is different because, with his parents, they have to have, new jobs, and, they're assigned a house. And, for Nick, it's okay, I have to start at a new school, I get a new name, but, he basically, has to be as kind of unnoticeable as possible. His whole family has to be careful. His parents kind of have to, do well at work, but, not so well that they get noticed. And for Nick, too, this is kind of the drill at school. For example, he can't play sports anymore, because if he did too well, somebody could come from the newspaper and take photos, and then his photo could be in the paper, and that would be bad, because somebody who wants to kill Nick and his family might recognize them. So, the book starts with Nick at another new school. And we find out eventually that, okay, he and his family, they've had to, change towns and identities a few times. And they're kind of, about to be kicked out of the program. So Nick and his parents, they all understand that, okay, we really got to be careful in this new town and not get noticed. So Nick, his first hour at his new school is gym, which isn't a great start, but he's okay, I'm just gonna, walk in, I'll change clothes, I'm just gonna keep my head down, it'll be fine. Except, the minute he walks into the gym, he meets this girl named Rhea. And Rhea is, just kind of sees a new person and says, oh, hey, you're new, welcome to Stepton, it's nice to meet you, my name is Rhea, and, they just basically say hi, it's nothing. Except, Rhea has a very jealous boyfriend, and to him it's not nothing. And he sees this happen. He, goes into the locker room with some of his friends. And so when Nick goes in, there's already, this group of guys waiting for him. And Rhea, this is her soon-to-be ex-boyfriend. She's not putting up with this anymore. But they're still together at this moment. And, the guy basically goes up to Nick and is about to, start a fight, a physical fight. And, again, Nick is not thrilled about this because it's I just got here. I do not need to end up in a fight on my very first hour of my very first day at a new school. But just as this other guy is about to throw a punch, there's a flash of light, and Nick and the other people in the locker room turn, and there's this kid holding a camera, and this guy says, oh, hey, wow, I don't know what this photo is. It kind of looks like somebody was about to get punched. That's weird. Wonder what would happen if I emailed it to the principal. Wouldn't that be nuts? So, Rhea's soon-to-be ex-boyfriend and his friends leave. And Nick is, looking at this kid okay, that was weird, thanks. What's with the camera? And this other kid, whose name is Eli, says, oh, I run the school paper. And by the way, Rhea is my sister. My name is Eli. Nice to meet you. You're new, do you want me to, give you a tour of school? So, Nick, is talking to Eli, and Eli pretty quickly says, hey, do you want to, join the paper? Do you want to work on the paper with me? And at first, Nick is you know, the whole point of the program is we're not really supposed to, like, get involved with other people. Like you can sit with people at lunch. Like, you don't have to totally, like, not talk to anybody. But you need to, like, keep a very low profile. But then, like, Nick thinks about it, and he says, oh, you know, okay, sure, yeah, what would I be doing? And Eli's going to have him, you know, like, write articles and take pictures. And Nick thinks, okay, great. If I'm the person taking pictures, like, I can go to a basketball game, I can go to a football game, and I'll know that I'm not in any of the school newspaper pictures because I'll be the person taking the pictures. So, at first, you know, he's working with Eli, and Eli, like, he wants to get into, like, this journalist, like an internship program at Columbia University. So he's very exacting in how they do the articles. It's like, hey, it's got to be a certain word count, certain format, all this. And pretty soon, Eli, you know, after they've known each other a bit, Eli starts talking about this thing that he's been researching locally, about how, you know, even though Stepton is a small town, there's been, like, some weird crime, and the quantity of crime is odd for a town of that size. And what Eli has uncovered is there's something called Whisper Town, and it has to do with, like, a shady development deal that the mayor's involved with. And at first, Nick kind of dismisses this, like, dude, you've seen, like, too many crime TV shows, like, this, most small towns don't have, like, a weird conspiracy happening. But then one night, Nick sees his dad meeting with the mayor, and he hears them talking, and he starts to think, oh wait, Eli might be right. And so, what happens one Friday is Eli gives Nick the camera, and says, okay, go to the football game, take some photos, write a story, and I'll see you on Monday. Nick says, okay, sounds good. And he goes to the game, takes some photos, writes his article over the weekend, and on Monday morning he comes back to school, walks into the journalism room, which is like basically a closet. Like, there's very little space in this room. But he walks in, he's like, hey, Eli, you know, like, the light's already on, so he's like thinking, oh, Eli's in here. Hey, you know, I wrote the story, I got some good pictures, I think you'll like them. Well, sure enough, Eli's already in the room, but he is dead. He is on the floor in a pool of blood. So Nick goes and gets somebody, and the police come, and pretty quickly they decide, oh, this was a suicide. And, I mean, Nick is, like, shocked and dismayed that his only friend has died. And after talking with Rhea, Eli's sister, he starts to think, okay, I don't think this was a suicide. Like, I think whatever was going on that Eli was researching, he got too close and somebody killed him. Like, there really is something going on. And what Nick thinks is, what if it has to do with the witness protection program? Like, what if it's not just my family that was sent to this town? What if there's other witness protection people here? And if that's being done, I mean, what's the point? Like, do people already know that we're here? Like, is my life in danger? Are my parents going to get killed? Like, what's going to happen? So the book is Nick trying to solve Eli's murder with Rhea. Like, they both want to know who killed Eli, kind of for different reasons. I mean, yes, Nick was friends with Eli. Like, for Rhea, it's just she wants to find her brother's killer and, like, bring them to justice. For Nick, it's that, but it's also, you know, him trying to protect himself and his parents. Like, he wants to know, how much do these people know about our lives and who we really are? Like, is somebody going to try and kill me next? So if you like thrillers, mysteries, this is a really good one. I would say that sometimes with, like, teen thrillers, you know, if there's, like, a mystery happening, a murder mystery in particular, it can kind of, you know, it might be hard to believe sometimes that, oh, why would a teen be solving a murder? But in this case, it makes sense, given Nick and, you know, his friendship with Eli, but also what he knows about his dad, and, you know, given his time in the witness protection program. Like, it makes sense that he'd be able to do the things he does and, like, think the way he does in terms of, okay, I'm doing this to, like, try and keep myself and my parents safe, but also I don't want the person who murdered my friend to just get away with it. So, this book is available as an ebook and an e-audiobook through our Libby app. So if you want to borrow it, you can check it out there, or you can get a physical copy here at the library. And thank you for watching. I will see you again next week.